Hello everybody, it's Ryno and I am here at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, and you can see right behind me here, Tron. I am so excited. The Tron, officially the title, Lightcycle Run. I am such a big fan of the Tron movies. I'm a huge fan of Tron Legacy, and I love the soundtrack, I love the aesthetic, I love the whole thing. So I am so excited. I had a friend invite me to a cast member preview, and I thought I would just maybe give my initial impressions and what the experience is like and show you whatever I can along the way, because I know we got to give up backpacks and cameras and stuff like that. So come along with me. Let's check it out. I'm stoked. I haven't ridden it yet. I'm very excited right now. So yeah. Before we go in there, I just want to remind everybody this and everything that we do here is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you help support the channel and all the content that we produce. So check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. That's going to do it. That's enough. Let's just go in and do this. Okay, so I know we've seen like videos and stuff of this canopy going up, but when you're like actually here looking at it, it's just, I feel like it's so much cooler than I expected. Plus I just love, I don't know, this whole area is cool behind Space Mountain. So far, I don't know, it feels right out here.
It changes to orange sometimes.
I just got off the ride, and one thing I'm going to say is I'm really happy that I took a Dramamine before I did the ride, because there is a part, the second half of the ride, that gets a little, like, there's a part that made me feel a little dizzy. But so if you are prone to motion sickness, I would think about that. But this ride was so much fun. I don't know what really to compare it to. There's a whole section you can't see out here, and I don't know that I expected that we were going to actually, like, I don't want to like have too many spoilers, but I am going to say some from here on out, so just prepare yourself. But the second half of the ride, you do go into the building that's like the grid, and once you're in there, you race around. You like kind of go almost like through different levels. Think about how Space Mountain kind of starts at the top and then keeps going down and around. It's that same idea. And then there's a really cool part where you come up against a screen and you're facing off against Team Orange, and it's a lot of fun. It's one where I was forcing myself to keep my eyes open, because I am one of those, I am a big baby when it comes to that sort of stuff. So I'm glad that I did. I can't wait to ride it again, because I feel like that first time it's just going by and you want to look everywhere. And plus it's like a really unique, system. Like I know out in Knott's Berry Farm in California, they have the Pony Express, which is kind of a similar bike mounted system. This is different. It's a little bit lower. It feels weird, and I'm telling you, when you go to do the coaster and it like shoots you out for the launch, you are going to be like, "Am I secure? Is that life?" Like, and it's kind of crazy because it's two sides because it's 2x2, and there's just a lot of tilts where you're like, I'm just holding handlebars. Like, my hands hurt from squeezing the metal handlebars so tight, but it is like this kind of weird, I don't know, it's just in a weird position, and it really adds the excitement. And they play like D-Res by Daft Punk and some other really cool songs from the soundtrack. But also the launching of the vehicles itself is like, I actually think it's so cool to like be in that room and witness, because it's like one bike after another, but it like has this really awesome sound effect that's like really loud and like resonates through the building, and so it really hypes you up. So I think they did a really good job aesthetically of all that stuff. So I thought the queue itself itself, because I feel like we need to talk about that, not just the attraction, was pretty cool. It's like, I'd give it a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 in terms of like the queue being really themed like in Tron. Like there's a pre-show in here that is that's a lot of fun, that does a really cool effect with a glass that you can see through. Actually, why don't we take a look at the pre-show right now?
Users, prepare to be digitized into the world of Tron.
Team Blue, welcome to the grid. Proceed to games.
So you can see what I'm talking about with that like frosted glass that pops and you're like, oh, we're over the vehicles right now. I thought that was like a lot of fun and really cool. I think the walking up into it with this like sound effects and the music really kind of starts to pull you into the story. I love the area where you walk through just after the pre-show. I thought that like that loading dock, I was like, oh, this is where when you're in the line, it's going to be cool to watch the vehicles go through and hear that. And aesthetically, that's when I feel like you are most in the grid. Like you are in Tron, you are there in that moment, and it's great. And it has that same kind of feeling, like similar to if anyone has ever been to Disneyland, their Space Mountain, you kind of walk into a room and it's like a big circular room where you're walking around upstairs at the second level, and then you go down a ramp to get down to where you board the ride. When you're in the queue where you're waiting just before the lockers, that queue I feel like is the part where I'm like, it's a half and half. Like there's a really cool video screen that plays the safety announcement, and actually I have that too, so why don't we take a look at that.
New Team Blue members detected for the Lightcycle Run competition. Initiate Identity DIS Unplugged. Initiate Lightcycle Run upload sequence in 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to TRON Lightcycle Run, the ultimate competition on the grid. Before proceeding to the signature, all members of Team Blue must prepare. All users must secure large items, including backpacks, purses, and hats, in the locker portal before entering. Lockers are just ahead. To open a locker portal, tap your digital key to the illuminated activation point. Please be considerate of other users and only use locker space that your party requires. Remember your unit number. You will be piloting a specially modified Lightcycle. When the gate opens, follow your path on the floor. If you are assigned the bar vehicle, you must walk behind the Lightcycle. Remove phones, glasses, and other items that may fall off, and secure them in the storage area between the handlebars. To synchronize with your Lightcycle, kneel, lean, and pull the handlebars towards you.
Is it okay? Oh no!
TRON Lightcycle Run is a thrilling, high-speed roller coaster type ride in the dark, making sharp turns with sudden drops and stops. For your safety, remain seated on your Lightcycle at all times. Remember to kneel, lean, and pull the handlebars towards you. Supervise young Team Blue users at all times. The competition begins when Team Blue launches across the upload conduit and onto the grid. Your opponents will meet you there. To win, every member of Team Blue must pass through 8 energy gates before their opponents. Stick together. It's your only hope for victory. In the Lightcycle Run, there are winners and there are losers. Who are you?
I love how that safety announcement is played. I thought it did a really good job of being like safety, but also, you know, it really lays out the story that's in there. So that was really cool. I love Tron Legacy, so this is like all right up my alley. But then you move over to the lockers, and I thought the lockers were really well done because they work in that unit where you put it in on one side, and when you exit, you're going to be pulling the stuff through the other side. I will say I have a full-size Loungefly bag on, not the smaller one today. It's not packed full of anything, and it has like a rain jacket, an umbrella, and a water bottle, and I kind of like had to push it in there a little bit. So if you've got like a full backpack, I don't know how that is going to work exactly, because it looked like a lot of the lockers were all the same size, but there could have been bigger ones. I'm not sure. We'd have to follow up on that when we get into being able to actually like go through and ride it more and stuff like that. But I thought in terms of that, it was great. And then there is like a little thing on the bike where you could put your phone and your wallet and stuff too. So and that held both my phone and my wallet, and like if you had car keys, I think you could put them in there too, because you're not going upside down, so it's just a little container. But don't forget them. There is a thing that says it afterwards, but you're so jazzed up when you're done with the ride. I think this is going to be a thing where a lot of people leave their stuff on the ride, so I think eventually, I don't know if there's enough lockers, but I think it would have to be a thing where they're going to start being like, you got to leave your stuff in the locker. See, I don't know why I'm talking like an old-timey newspaper salesman, but I think it's a good one to be brave on. It's bigger than a family coaster, I would say, or like more thrill oriented, and like not quite as extreme as like, I don't think it was as extreme as Everest. Yeah, I would say that like Everest is more extreme. I'd say it's maybe a little more extreme than Space Mountain. I don't think it's quite as extreme as Guardians. I think it's a little faster than Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, but I think it's like in that realm in there. So I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy it. I don't think the ride is particularly accessible, and I think that element kind of comes a little bit more down into your like the thickness of your calves. But there is a test seat out front, and I would highly recommend going over to that test seat and just giving it going to sit in it and check it out, because also that'll let you kind of know what it was like to what this actual seat is like as well. But yeah, there's no shame if you can. There are vehicles that have a back seat if you can't do the bike or you choose not to do the bike. That's there for those. But yeah, this is the first ride I feel like they've built in a while that feels a little less universally accessible than other things, but I have to say I did really enjoy it. So I hope everybody who wants to ride it is going to be able to ride it. I would definitely recommend it. I think this whole area is really cool. I love the canopy. I love that it like changes colors and it's different and like sort of different songs play, but aesthetically this is my jam. I wish we lived in a place where cities were like all looked like this, like cool and clean and bright and colorful. So I'm pretty happy. I'm sure we're going to talk more at length in other videos and on the shows and everything like that. So if you're not following us, subscribe to the channel. And of course, we have the DIS Unplugged, the Walt Disney World show, our podcast, where we're going to talk about this probably in more depth. And then of course, once the ride opens and media rolls around and that sort of stuff. So this was just my like initial impressions and everything, but I'm jazzed up and I cannot wait to do it again. And so thank you, everybody. I hope I touched on everything. If not, I'm going to insert what I forgot right here. I did forget to mention their costumes, because I do really, really like the cast member costumes here. They have like a little identity disc on the back, and I like that it's like a zip-up hoodie and stuff, and it's starting to rain here now. But something that's really cool, too, is on my walk out, I kind of saw online, and I didn't realize you could like really, really do it, is you can come down here and watch the fireworks out at the entrance, and it just looks so cool while they're going off over here, and I loved it. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. If you like the video, thumbs up. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions about this attraction, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Just leave them in the comments there, and yeah, that's it. That's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna go home and watch Tron Legacy because I love that movie so much. I don't think you need to have watched the movie though to enjoy the ride, just to say that, but I think you'll be into it more. But yeah, it does a pretty good job of summing it up, so don't feel like you're going to be lost or anything like that. So I think you should watch it though, and then we can talk about that too. So thank you everybody. Bye.